Welcome to my winter plant update. We're going to start with the trouble child, and that's this juniper. I think I messed up caring for this guy in that he should not be indoors. I have very, very brittle, this is brutal, brittle foliage here, and I think that is due to it just trying to live too much in a warm climate. This probably is not the bonsai for me long term because I don't have a good outdoor solution that doesn't allow him to be cold but not frozen. It's the best I can do. He's near a window here that's kind of roughly east facing, and I haven't noticed any change since I moved him over here a couple weeks ago. But here's hoping he pulls through till the spring, but I'm not extraordinarily confident in that happening. So that's plant number 1. All right, we've moved upstairs into the main plant room area, and this is the ZZ Raven. Also not doing fantastically well. It's not like dying, but it's just kind of struggling a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do in the spring is get some new dirt, and these are all individual plants. I think there's 5 or 6 of them, and I will pot them up individually and hope that they adapt to a smaller pot, maybe get root bound and start propagating via division, but we'll see. So that's the Raven, and from the Raven we say hello to the bigger and much more vibrant sister. This is the big ZZ, and this thing is happy as a clam. If I find to my left, there's one shoot I've been keeping track of tactily. Here he is. See if I can get him on camera here. We got some new leaves. They come out kind of this iridescent green, and then they darken as they come up. And there's even another leaf way down here. I don't know how common it is for them to have these little lower leaves, but I've noticed that some have them and some don't. But yeah, the Raven, if we, or the ZZ, if we move down here, right at the soil level, lots of stalks and new coming fairly commonly, so very happy. Not in direct light at all compared to my plant lights, but I think he's pretty content there, and so that is the Raven. All right, welcome to the plant table. I just called that guy the Raven. He was the regular ZZ for clarification, but we'll start, actually here, we'll maybe point down towards the other end of the table, which I will slide over and cover. We will get to all of these guys in time, but we'll go from furthest to the light to closest to the light. Way down here, we have my corn plant. Looking a little sad in terms of the leaves being a little bit beat up, dusty. Definitely feeling the adverse effects of my varying humidity. These very crispy leaves, but I'm letting all these leaves be, and I will do a prune and maybe take some of those off and stuff when I bring him outside and he has time to adjust. We're pretty compact in this pot and probably in need of water fairly soon. So it's pretty happy. It's just kind of hanging on. But if I get up to the leaves, the reason I say it's pretty happy is we have lots of new leaves coming out, and so it's not really showing any signs of stress with new growth, and so I'm pretty confident to let him be what he is. Next, Dracaena Lemon Lime is this dude. Also pretty content to have made it through most of the fall and winter time, as we are now in February as of today. Happy February, by the way. And we have lots of new leaves. Again, if we treat this center point of this plant as kind of a rosette, I'm trying to really get the camera in here, we have quite a few new leaves emerging, and a little bit of the same issue with the humidity with the lemon lime. If I go over to this leaf here, you can see the crispy tip, but I'm not, I don't have the means to fill my humidifier frequent enough to keep the humidity above about 59, 60%, I think is what I have it set at, and these plants seem to tolerate it. Is it their favorite? No, but none have died, so we're doing okay. I'm gonna keep dodging the big Dracaena, and we'll shoot back here for one more. Also a Dracaena. This is the Janet Craig. Could probably use a leaf rinse. A little bit of dusty leaf syndrome going on, but again, these plants are surviving the Minnesota winter, so that comes with a certain amount of concessions, including lower humidity and a bit of dust. But lots of new leaves coming out of the center, as with the other Dracaenas, and so I'm fairly content to let him be. I'm noticing a little bit of this kind of leaf curling, almost like they're shriveling. There doesn't seem to come with any structural integrity or anything, but I'm wondering if it's I don't know. It doesn't necessarily seem to affect him. It's just a tactile thing that I've noticed with this here. This is a Janet Craig, and my stem has kind of almost become more wood-like over the course of the winter, so that's interesting. Item of note. All right, the big Dracaena. This is a rather typical Janet Craig, and I lost a lot of leaves down here. They all turned yellow and they all fell off, and I was a little worried. But since then, the crown of this tree has just become incredibly healthy, and there are lots of leaves. It is actually probably among my healthier plants at the minute, and there's lots of leaves coming out up top, and it's maintaining a very healthy crown. This guy will move outdoors once the spring springs officially, which probably won't be for another few months, but the fact that he survived this long, eventually I will have to 100% chop him up here in the next couple of years, so that I can continue to bring him in the house and he'll have branches and those sorts of things. But for now, very healthy, has straightened out, and the trunk has very much wooded up as well. So very, very happy with the Janet Craig. We'll move down here. I'm half convinced this is a fake plant. And the reason I say that is it is a Christmas cactus, and I keep forgetting to put it in these updates because it's been moved around. It's been all sorts of places. It's real. It just, it was something I got from one of those, Secret Santa type employee gift exchanges about a year ago, and it did not flower on me for Christmas time, which I was kind of bummed about. I was trying to do my best to keep it in places where it was dark, but I don't think I succeeded in that. He wasn't up here, which is why he hasn't been in past plant updates, but yep, he's here. Nothing else to report. He's looked about the exact same for a year and a month, so there's that guy. I think this is a money tree. Is it Patura, I think? It's my fiance's plant. I take care of it for her. I don't know a darn thing about it. These leaves get a little bit curly sometimes. He's gone in and out of being watered, and then the bottom leaves have started to kind of wither and go away, and so I've taken them off, and we're starting to get a bit of a trunk, which is vaguely interesting. I know nothing of this plant and whether or not any of these things are good, bad, or otherwise. So if you do, let me know. Next, you all know I have my affinity for jades, and this is my magnum opus jade plant. And this is a tree, a very small tree. And I'm realizing, it's probably from the juniper. I have a little bit of sticky something on my finger that smelled almost like pine, and I was like, what is that? I don't have any of those, but no, it's probably the juniper. But this is the jade tree. It has two branches, one really small one on the left and a larger one on the right, and I repotted him in that I gave him a refresh of soil because I was noticing that it wasn't drinking a lot of water. It just seemed like something was a little off. And since I have done that, the leaves have gone back to, I don't know what to say, cycling. So they'll get thicker when you add water, and then they'll slowly get thinner over time as the plant uses the energy. And then when they begin to shrivel just a little, it's time to water. So I've noticed that cycle has returned. I think this is a much happier place for it. Didn't have a lot of roots, so I really made an effort to put the roots down and then really pack around them so that the jade could use this entire terracotta pot in order to really build out that root system this year. and hopefully before spring that gets a little bit of a head start. He's pretty rooted in here despite only having been in this pot for a few weeks. So this is my main jade tree. I will have updates on him in the spring time, but he's doing all right. He's here, just hanging out. This smaller pot is kind of my jade propagations, experiments, things that aren't necessarily going great or terrible. And so there's a few leaves in here. There are some propagations in various states of existence. None are too pleased about life, but they're not dead. So we're keeping them, hoping that maybe they'll root out and become viable jade plants. But that is this dude. And I always forget about this guy hanging in the back. This is the ponytail palm, and he's very, very happy. Happy enough that I may have to actually take him out and repot him this spring, which I would be very happy to do, because if I go in here, I have most of a finger length, a couple inches of play where there isn't soil. This guy was potted in here when I didn't have a lot of dirt, and he's been in here for quite a while. He's very happy, and he's actually grown quite a bit. So lots of really thick leaves. You got to be really careful with these, because if you pet them the wrong way, in that if I move from the outer plant to the inner plant, there are teeth, like little teeth, like, I don't know how to explain it other than that, little saw teeth in these leaves, and they will poke you. And when they get thicker, when they get bigger, they can literally draw blood. So be careful when investigating a ponytail palm, especially if you're blind. But the foot, if I get in here a little bit, has definitely grown. And after so long of doing literally nothing at all, this ponytail palm is pretty excited about life. I have one more little dude that I need to find with my hands here. And I don't know if he's going to make it or not. I'm going to pick him up. There's a spider plant in here, a little baby. This is going to be for one of the kids I work with, and I'm just trying to get it to take in this new home, and so far I'm not sure it's working, but it's here. It's tiny. It's in like a little inch pot, maybe 2-inch pot that I found, a little terracotta one that I had. So that's what's up with that. And I have one more plant to show you, and I'm going to do that rather before it gets dark on me. All right, our last plant of the winter update. This is a spider plant, and he lives over here. This is a north-facing window, which I know some people are like, don't put them in direct light. Well, in this north-facing window, this guy has been very consistent. There are some babies in the pot with him. There are also a bunch that are just on the plant itself. There's a couple of hanging, trailing, what do you call these little dudes? Vines? I don't know. There's several throughout the plant, and we definitely have crispy ends again, similar to the others. That could be a combination of humidity and the water, because I had to water him with like hard water for quite a while. And then this winter, my big investment for plants, and I'll talk about it in just a second, is a water distiller. I'll show that before we end the video. But yeah, that's the spider plant. We'll talk about the water distiller real quick, and I'll close it out. Here is the aforementioned water distiller, and I just ran it earlier today, and so this container is currently full of distilled water. Fairly easy to use. This was not a cheap investment, but I think especially my tropicals have been a lot happier with me. I've been able to fill my humidifier, and this year was about upgrading my plant room enough that I could get my plants through the winter. So this thing, again, not cheap, but it works fairly well. I need to descale it because I've run it quite a few times, and I can tactily feel that there's buildup of just minerals from the water that need to get descaled before I probably do another cycle tonight. But yeah, that's the distiller, and then I use that to fill this guy. This is a Govee humidifier, and I really like Govee's stuff. I wish their app were just a touch more accessible with screen readers, but it is what it is. This is a really nice humidifier, and I like it for a few reasons. Number one, I can schedule time. So this guy runs from, I think, like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. roughly, something like that, like a 12 to 14 hour schedule. I don't remember exactly what it is. And because it doesn't run constantly, that enables me to have to fill less frequently, and then I can run the distiller to fill it with distilled water, so that the water coming out of here isn't causing scale to build up within the humidifier. I still need to clean it once in a while, but yeah, it's a pretty nice humidifier. I like it a lot. And it has definitely, along with my grow lights, which I think I talked about in another video, really helped me to take my winter setup to a level that allows my plants to be a little bit more content. Again, this is Minnesota winter, so any, tropicals and things like that are just going to have a bit of a harder time, but everything that you see here has made it, again, not without battle scars, but we are closing in on the latter portions of winter, and I will try to get these plants outside when I can in the spring. If you have any questions about any of these plants specifically, or anything that I do as a blind guy with plant care, please let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you for watching this one, and happy wrapping up of winter. I know, especially if you're in the Midwest, it can be hard, but we got this. We'll get through it. All right, we'll see you soon, everybody. Peace.